Good morning. Now we're going to take a look at how we can factor and solve polynomial equations. Notice the factor. We're going to be factoring. It's going to be more than quadratics in some cases. We're going to look at other methods to help us factor. And then remember to solve. When you solve polynomials more than degree 1, which are linear, you're going to want to set it equal to 0 again and use the zero product property, where the product of two or more things equals 0, then one of those factors has to be 0. Okay, we took a look at quadratics in chapter 4. In general, we'd have ax squared plus bx plus c. It might be set equal to 0. We often had it set equal to y so we could graph it. The perfect square trinomial, quadratic, if you square a binomial, okay, for example, if we square 2x minus 5, the pattern is always the square of the first, the square of the second, and the middle term is double the product of the two. And keep the sign that is in the parentheses. When you square something, it's always positive, so this is always going to be a plus. Okay, the difference of two squares is another special pattern. Remember, that factors into the sum and difference of the square roots. And also remember to look for a common factor. That's something many students miss. Okay. When you're factoring them, you want to be sure to factor completely. Okay. If you end up with a quadratic, that might be able to factor some more, like the bottom example. But this is a constant, a linear factor. This is a monomial factor. We do not break that down to 3xx. We leave it as 3x squared. And this is a linear factor. The last one here I already pointed out. It should have been factored further. Okay, when you're factoring a polynomial, first, look for a common monomial factor. Okay, so in this case, we got x cubed, negative 8x squared, 12x. We can take an x out. Okay, on the second one, we got 3y to the 5th minus 75y cubed. Notice we can take a 3 out of both, and we can take y cubed out of both. So that would be y squared minus 25. Okay, the second thing you want to do is look for your patterns. Okay, now this is a difference of two squares, so that is a pattern that we know. That should be y minus 5, y plus 5 as two different factors. Does not matter which one comes first. Okay, look for other ways to factor. Okay, now this first one, is a quadratic. X squared minus 8x plus 12. Remember, the 12 is the product, and the minus 8 is the sum of the same two numbers. Some of you can jump on that really fast. Others think a little bit longer, but that's fine. You still get it. So that would factor into x minus 2, x minus 6. 3 factors. Okay. We got two more special patterns we need to go over. The sum of two cubes and the difference of two cubes. If it's the sum of two cubes, it factors into the first term's cube root, the second cube root. And then in the other parentheses, it looks a lot like the squaring, but notice there's no 2 there. And the only difference between the plus and the difference is the sign of the numbers. Instead of a plus, it's a minus, and the next sign is a plus. In both cases, the second or the last term, the b squared is positive. This matches the first one. The next one's different. So a cubed minus b cubed factors into a minus b. And then in the trinomial, it's a squared plus ab plus b squared. you might want to write those down, get them in your notes, practice a few, like we're going to do here. Okay, when I look at this, x is cubed, so my a in my pattern is going to be x. 125 is 5 cubed, so my b in my pattern is going to be 5. So now when I look back at my pattern, a minus b will instead be x minus 5. A squared will become x squared. Remember, the sign is different than the first one. So it's the product of a and b, so in this case 5x, and then b squared. Okay. On the next one, the first thing that was cubed is 2n squared. So that's going to be my a. The second one, 3 is cubed. So now when I do my factoring, I'm going to have 2n squared plus 3. And in my other parentheses, I'm going to square my first term. So when you square it, you got to square the 2 as well as the n squared. My 3 gets squared at the end. And my middle term, opposite signs, so this is a plus, this is a minus, the product of the two. That does not factor. Okay. But now you have factored those. Practice a few. It does help very much to identify what A is and what B is. And then you just drop those numbers into the formulas. Okay, factoring by grouping. When you factor by grouping, it's often beneficial to group the higher degree terms, the cubed and the squared, and then the lower degree terms. And when we take the greatest common factor out of the first two terms, that kind of tells us what we want in our group for the second one. We got x minus 3, we want another x minus 3. Well, the only way that will happen is if we factor out a negative 4. So the x minus 3 is our common factor. It's multiplied with x squared in the first pair and with negative 4 in the second pair. Now again, remember to look to be sure that the second term, the quadratic term, doesn't factor more. In this case, it does. It's the sum and the difference of the same two numbers. Okay. The next one, if I group them again, okay, the first one I could take a y squared out, and I'm left with y plus 7. The second one, if I want the y plus 7, I got to take out a negative 9. So the y plus 7 is what's common. It's multiplied by y squared with the first pair, the minus 9 with the second pair. And like the first example, the y squared minus 9 is going to factor again. Y plus 3, y minus 3. There are many times when that second one does not factor further, but here it does. Okay. When you are asked to factor completely, make sure to look at your factors. When I see this, this looks like a perfect square minus a perfect square. So I see 4x squared plus 25 and 4x squared minus 25. Well, a binomial with a plus does not factor more, but with the minus, it does. That would be 2x and 2x plus 5 and minus 5. Okay. And this next one, which will be the end of today's video, they have 4n to the 6, negative 20n to the 4, and positive 24n squared. I think I can take a 4n squared out, and I'm left with n to the 4 minus 5n squared plus 6. Okay, now that is a polynomial that is a trinomial. I think that factors more. Okay, but now 2 and 3 are prime. They do not factor more. Some stubborn people, I might be included, that might go n plus the square root of 2 and minus the square root of 2. It would show that if you were to graph these, but we're not going to graph that. I'm going to back up the page. We got a little time yet on the video. I'm going to show you that you can actually use Desmos. So I'm going to look at the second one, and we're going to put it on Desmos. Oh, there we go. Okay, I got to put it in as y equals. Excuse me while I type. Okay, now you can take a look. I typed it in and I had to use y equals x, otherwise it would really mess it up. And I want to go out a little bit. Nope, I want to go in, sorry. But take a look at our zeros. We got a 0 here at -7, at -3, at +3. That's what x would equal. So if I go back to this, I'm going to mess this up a little bit. But sometimes if I can't factor, I will graph this as a y equals. And when it tells me that x equals -7, -3, and +3, notice how they are used back in the factors. If x equals +3, the factor was x minus 3. And likewise with the two negatives. So sometimes a graph will help you understand where those zeros are coming from, where those factors are coming from. Okay, play around with it a little bit. Go ahead and use Desmos, use your graphing calculators. Remember, you're going to have to use a graphing calculator on the test. I don't let you use computers, so you probably should practice them on your calculators